Hi there, welcome to Sew Let's Sew with Wendy. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Today we're talking about these twin needle sewing. Now any sewing machine can do a twin needle stitch as long as it's got a zigzag stitch in its repertoire, if you like. So it's most machines. I bought this pack of universal twin needles together with 3 feet. In each little section here there are 3 twin needles, a 4mm, a 3mm and a 2. Now that's obviously the distance between the 2 needles, and so today I'm going to be using the 4mm, I think, because it's just the one I have to hand. So the only thing to remember about twin needle sewing is you're going to need your thread coming from 2 different areas. So if I just whiz this around a little, oops, there we are. You'll see that I've got my main spool holder here, and then here I've got another one. So what I'm going to do now is I'll bring you down to the machine. I'll show you how to remove the current needle and how to insert the twin needle. Okay. Right, so here we are down at the machine. First of all, I'm going to loosen the little screw here. It will be different on all the machines, but just loosen it off. And actually what I'm going to do is pop a card underneath there, just to stop this needle falling through the hole and disappearing into the machine. So just loosen it off, and out drops the needle. And then to insert the twin needle, it's really simple. There's a beveled edge and a flat edge. Can you see that? And so you put the flat edge to the back, pop it up in the hole that the other needle was in. Oh, I am trying to do this so you can see it, but let me just loosen this off a bit. There we go. And then tighten it up. Make sure it's nice and tight, and that it'll go up and down when you tell it to. There we go. Right, okay, so we've got our twin needle fitted, and now we're going to thread the machine up. Now for the purposes of this, I'm going to use 2 different colour threads. I've got the white, which is on my big thread holder at the back, and I've got the red, which I'm just going to pop here. So get my thread, and you just thread it the way you would normally thread. So 1 there, and then get my red at the end of it. We are following the same path as the white. So there you go. So now we actually need to thread the needles manually, if you like. This machine has an automatic thread cutter, which is excellent, but obviously because there's a twin needle in, I won't be able to do it for this one. So I'll just go away and thread them. You're threading front to back, so poking through the front, bringing out through the back. Right, so I've threaded my machine up, one with red thread and one with white. This is just so you can see what I'm doing. I've got my machine set up to just a normal straight stitch. So we'll take a few stitches and see what happens. And I'm not sure if you can use your automatic thread cutter. I will try it before I go off air, but just because I've set it all up and it's sewing, I don't want to do anything that's going to stop it. So, don't know if you can see that, but there's a red stitch, and just underneath it, oops, is a white stitch. Maybe get a different colour fabric, I think. One that'll show up both. let's just have a look. So oh, you can use your thread cutter, that's handy, I didn't think you could. There we are. So that's what you get. So you get a line of red stitching and a line of white stitching, and on the back it will look something like that. Now, the number of stitches that you can do on a fancy machine like mine that's got lots of stitches is shown on the card here, and anything that's got a little circle round it, you see there's a twin needle there that says no, you can't do it. So according to this, I could do the leaf, which is number 19, on a twin needle. Never done it, but we'll give it a go. I did have a mess around when I first got that set, and I did manage to break a needle, and I don't know why. So I think we'll just have to be, let me just double check. So anything that's got a circle round it equals no, and 19 hasn't. Tell you what, let's start off with something really straightforward. A zigzag stitch. I'm a coward because I broke the needle in practice, and it was really... Oh, that looks quite nice. So you've got the red zigzag with the white zigzag underneath. Right, now I am going to go for it. I'm going to try the leaf, which is number 19. And we'll just take it really slowly. Oh! It was doing it, but it made a really strange noise. So... if I just cut that off there. I don't like it when my machine makes noises like that. So you can see it did a leaf in red with a shadow in white. I quite like the zigzag actually, that looks really cute. I don't think there's much more to say about twin needle sewing, other than it's really good if you want to do pin tucks. It makes it a lot easier. I would like to try another stitch. Let's try 20, which is number 20, which is like the Iggly Wiggly stitch, which is my favourite quilting stitch. So here we go. Oh, that looks quite nice too. And I would guess, I don't know what size this one is I've put in. I thought it was a 4mm, but I'm thinking now it might not be. Let me just have a look. Because I know when I did my practice earlier, I did break one. So if I open up a fresh packet, oh, and I can clearly see that that's the 3mm. I think it would look better with the 4mm, just because it would separate them a little bit more. So if you can imagine, if this is the 3mm, that's quite close. And the 2mm would be even closer, and the 4mm will be slightly wider. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go ahead and fit a 4mm one and come back to you and show you what it looks like. Right, this is me trying to thread my twin needle. And by coincidence, the one on the right hand side, as you look at it, is the hardest one to thread. So if you were going to thread it, do that one first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a needle threader. Whoops, where are you? There you are. And I'm going to bring it from the back through the hole and then pop the thread through the needle threader and pull. And that makes life so much easier. Try it with this one, but I'll have to do it with my other hand. Oh, which I find quite impossible to do. There we are, needle threader through. It is a bit of a hoo-ha, but I'm sure it'll be worth it in the end. So just pop the threads to the back. Right, so that's a 4. Just for interest, I measured the one that I'd put in there, and it was actually a 2. So if we'll do a straight stitch to start with. I'm just going up and down with my needle just to make sure it's not going to hit the presser foot. For this, I've got my open toe applique foot. The one that came with it was this one. There's 3 of them. But this is what broke my needle, I think. So just for my own peace of mind, I'm using my open toe applique foot. So we'll just try a straight stitch first. Cut my thread. Oh yes, you can clearly see the difference. This is the 4mm as against the 2. If I try and put those 2 together for you. There they are. So you can see what the difference is. So we'll try the Iggly Wiggly stitch with the 4mm. Start off. Oh, bum. Okay, I know exactly what happened then, and it frightened the life out of me. Sorry if I swore. Right, so clearly the 4mm won't work on this machine. That's exactly what happened last time. It hit the side of the presser foot, and initially I thought it was because the needle was too loose, but having checked it, it wasn't. It's not worth the risk, I think. I'm not going to do that again, so I will only use the 2, possibly the 3. What I'll do is I'll go away and I'll try it with the 3 again. I don't want to keep doing this because last time it sent my machine into a frenzy of buzzing and whooping. But anyway, we'll have a go. Right, so rethreaded it now with a 3mm, and we'll just see how that goes. Start off, let me just tuck the threads away. I'm going to start off with a straight stitch again, and I'm starting off. I tell you what I will do, just in case it's something to do with the wrong screwdriver. I'm just making sure that my I've forgotten what it's called now. The thing that holds the foot is nice and tight, because sometimes they waggle. So let's start off nice and slowly. Yeah, you see, that's no problem. And we'll do a zigzag. Now that's really, really close. Can you see how close that is? I reckon my needle would break then. So the default width for my zigzag is 5.0. I'm just gonna take it to 2. So let's just, it still looks really close to my presser foot though. Here goes nothing. There we go. Now see how these are now two separate rows of zigzags, whereas the first one we did, which was 2mm, was directly together, and now you've got a definite line between them. And just for devilment, I am going to try the Iggly Wiggly stitch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand roll it first. Oh, that's awfully close. I think I'm going to have to reduce the width again. So I've reduced it to 3.5. Let me just see how that's... Yeah, I think we should be okay with that. So obviously the message is, watch how wide your stitch is. So oh, it's awfully close. And there we have it. See the first one? It was directly touching, that's the 2mm, and this is the 3mm. So thinking about it, you could use a 4mm needle, but you really do have to watch the width of the stitches that you're doing. Right, so that's it. I'm not quite sure what you would use it for other than decorative stitching and maybe pin tucking. I don't know whether it would work through a quilt. Let me just see if I've got a little quilt sandwich that we can play with. Here we are, this will do. Right, I've just made myself a really quick quilt sandwich. So 2 pieces of fabric with some batting or wadding, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll just do a straight stitch to see how it copes with it. Well, that didn't look too bad. It didn't feel too bad. As 20, the wiggly stitch is my favourite. I'm just going to try and do that. Now, I'm lucky because I haven't switched my machine off. When I've gone into number 20, the wiggly stitch, it's remembered the width I'd set it. And the width I'd set it is 3.5. It's freaking me out a little bit because these needles are so close to the edge of this foot. Because we all know what it's like when a needle breaks on you. It makes me jump. But hey, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Right, so that's twin needle sewing. I'm not absolutely sure. I know what to do with it now. I can do it. I guess if you're making things out of sweatshirt material and you wanted to do the 2 rows of stitching around the cuff and around the end and around the neck, it would be useful for that. Quilting, I'm not so sure. Next time I actually do some quilting, I will try it, but it's a bit freaky how close the needles go into the side of the open toe foot. So all I would say is just take, when you first thread it, be careful, hand do it so you can see how close it is to the side of your foot, and don't use the foot, because the pack I got, I'll try and link it below, the foot that came with it, it broke the needle the first time I used it. Now that could be to do with the fact that I hadn't reduced the width of my zigzag, but it's just trial and error. It's a nice thing if you can do it, and there are loads of outtakes from this video where I broke needles and I freaked. I try and leave one of them in just for a giggle. Once you get used to it, it's fair enough. I would recommend though using a needle threader to thread the needles, because I tried doing it by eye. I don't wear glasses all the time, and even with my glasses on I couldn't do it, so I used a needle threader. Automatic threader clearly won't work. That's it, I think. So if you'd like to see anything else, please do pop a message below, and as always, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.